What is going on, Hustleites? Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.
This is the final show of 2022 before we get into 2023. And my God, what a year it was. Was it not a crazy ass year, Q?
Is one of the it goes down in the record books as one of the craziest years in professional wrestling history. I mean, we could talk about, Vince McMahon, the empire of McMahon going down, the rise of the Triple H regime coming up, people leaving, AEW. My goodness, somebody left AEW for WWE. That shit went crazy. We got all-out scrums. We got people fighting, people biting each other. A dog got his ass kicked in the locker room. Allegedly. And then, of course, people, who is, how wrestlers are being booked. You're being buried. We've heard this many, many years, Track.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestlers being buried, but wrestlers not being booked right and all that stuff. But now, what's even crazier is on Twitter, the wrestlers are saying they're being buried. The wrestlers are more saying, what am I doing here? I don't know. Maybe I should go back to WWE, or maybe I should leave WWE to AEW or something like that. So it's crazy, man. But very enjoyable.
This has been a fucking nutty ass year. Of course, I am A-Track Brown. And with me, of course, is my broadcast brethren, my broadcast colleague, my bromosexual, the most scholarly, the most effervescent, the most magnanimous, the most objective, the most stupendous, and the motherfucking king of the hoopla, and the most glorious man of 2022. The most glorious man of the IWC, YWC, PWC, FPWC, TWC, YWC. The motherfucking Professor Chabelo de la Cruz. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Track? What's going on to the Hustleites? I'm glorious in 2022, but I've been glorious for the last 8 years on the PWHustle channel, and I will still continue to be glorious 2023 and beyond. It's been a ride, Track. We've been doing this since 2013. I couldn't even believe that. You realize we're going to enter 2023, and this is a 10 years run.
Yo,
we're gonna almost do this for 10 years, give or take.
It's funny because this is our year-end show, and every year-end show it has the whole crew, but we don't have the whole crew here. We don't have the masked man. Of course, this nigga is on assignment again. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to fucking re-record this show, and do another show with the masked man. So, shout outs to the masked man who couldn't be with us, and shout outs to all the hustleites who couldn't come and join us, because this is like, it's guerrilla type of broadcasting. We do this shit on the fly, and either you lead, follow, or you're not in the way, however the fuck that goes. You lead, follow, or get the fuck out of the way. But what's more important is what's going down in the sports, in the world of professional wrestling. We had this crazy ass year, like you mentioned. Vince McMahon left the business. Thank God. And before the year ends, he's talking about coming back. CM Punk made a comeback. Grand opening, grand closing. As soon as that nigga came, as soon as that nigga was out. Which to me those are the two top stories of the year. What happened at All Out and the shit that happened with Vince McMahon leaving the company. Not only that, what else you have?
I think we can also
Sasha Banks.
Oh, you can talk about that too.
Sasha Banks is another big story that happened this year with Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out. Everybody trying to wonder where Sasha Banks is going to end up, not giving a flying fuck about Naomi. I feel sorry for the poor child. I actually thought that she would have been back in WWE by now. I thought she would have came back and whatnot, but her husband and all that connection, but that's not the case. Right before the year ending, we had the firing of Mandy Rose. And like you said, we got it seems like we have some I don't want to say spoiled WWE brats in AEW, but you got some dudes who seem to be, thinking that they're special. They don't want to do jobs to people. You got Miro talking about he doesn't want to do the job to Orange Cassidy. You had fans saying, hey, I don't blame him. Well, I'm just sitting here saying, well, you got a guy who's the most over guy in the company. Not the most over guy, but one of the most over guys in the company in Orange Cassidy. And taking a job to him, I mean, I can understand you not wanting to lose to the characters. It's a kind of a goofball character compared to who Miro is. And I've stated time and time again. Well, maybe not time and time again, but I have stated I thought that Miro should have been champ before MJF. I believe that the whole MJF thing happened kind of fast only because of what happened with the whole CM Punk situation. I believe that CM Punk probably would still be champ right now if he didn't get hurt, if he didn't get into a fight. And just to give my quick, just to go into that real quick, my whole thing finally on that whole CM Punk situation is this, because they're having that best of 7 tournament with the Elite versus the Death Triangle, and I said this on Twitter, for the reasons of Brawl Out and whatnot, these guys in a storyline, I hope that the Elite does not get these fucking trios titles back. You can't have them involved in the shit they was involved in and then reward them with titles. To me, that shit is stupid. And from a storyline angle, I'm watching Ray Phoenix, be torn between doing the right thing and doing whatever it takes to win. In which case, I would like to see Ray Phoenix turn full-blown heel in the last match and say, fuck it, and just hit somebody with the fucking hammer. Or maybe they might be going around of what I'm hearing, which is the House of Black costs the Elite the trios titles. Either way, I don't believe that the Elite, for various reasons in the some that I explained, should be walking away with any of those titles. Also, I believe that in 2023, Tony Khan needs to strip all active wrestlers of any executive titles, unless it's like a producer or some shit like that. I understand an active wrestler being a producer. I can get that. But what I can't get behind is an active wrestler being an EVP. To me, that's saying, oh, please join my company. I'll give you anything you fucking want. And which I understood. But they shown.
But ain't he great, though? That's what I'm just going to say. Ain't he great?
Well, see, we'll get into that, because he's not like a shot caller. I don't think he's in around there calling his own shots.
No, but he's got certain titles that he's got to do in 2023. He's got certain responsibilities that we expect him to do. But I'm just joking here. But I get what you're saying, Track. But I'll say this: you're right about CM Punk. We're right about Vince McMahon as big storylines. I just want to take it to the left, because that's what the professor does. I want to go on a little tangent and just say my biggest thing of 2020 dues. Shout outs to TW, Tommy Wonder, because of the Pro Wrestling Reflection. We always say 2020 dues. But anyway, I will keep saying this, and a lot of people don't want to say the professor was right. I'm going to say this. The most screwed tag team of 2022 was FTR. Dak Harwood and Cash Willett, you guys were screwed out of big payoff matches. You were screwed out of a total legacy that you deserved. All out. It was yours for the taking. You already won the ROH tag team titles. You already are the AAA tag team champions. All you needed was the AE, and you was winning the IWGP tag team titles. Track at Forbidden Door. They were feuding with United Empire, and I'll get into that for a second. But anyway, All Out, it was right there for y'all. The biggest pay-per-view of AEW in the year. You had Bucks, you had FTR, winner take all. But guess who? Like you said, Track, somebody called their shots with being EVPs. Somebody was playing politics because they didn't want to do the tag team title match. I don't know why. They wanted to do the trio bullshit. But neither here nor there. And FTR kind of went by on the wayside, had to go lower on the card, do some bullshit trios match. But again, people were telling me, don't worry, Professor, they'll get their just due. By the way, Track, if you notice if they had that match, and I'm just saying, this is my own thing. Just let me say this, and you can retort back. If they had the match and they won at All Out, like they should have, if they had that match with the Acclaim, they could have been chasing FTR. And that match, when they beat FTR at Dynamite to become tag team champions, hypothetically, that would have been bigger for the Acclaim. They would have been a made tag team. That's just me. But again, people are like, don't worry, Professor, don't worry. And I'll say this. Shout outs to Cordell Mitchell. I'm going to tell you this about FTR getting screwed again. 2023 Wrestle Kingdom's coming up. Didn't we have something called the World Tag League track, that tournament? Mm-hmm. FTR had a banger match in the UK against Aussie Open. Shouldn't the Aussie Open have won the World Tag League because you had a rematch in the making for the Tokyo Dome for 50,000 strong?
Well, that's on New Japan.
I'm just saying. I'm just giving you my rant.
I don't think Tony Khan played any parts of that.
No. I'm just saying. Again, maybe because I'm a mark for them and I'm biased towards them. I don't give a damn. I'm biased towards FTR. They're the best tag team in the last 5 years. I keep saying that. I told you, and I told Maskman that since NXT days. But anyway, you had a banger match in the UK. You had a banger rematch in the making. Money track. That's all I'm talking about. And then Aussie Open didn't win the World Tag League. I guess Gaijin, and again, I give you that. Gaijins just don't get over in New Japan. You got to go with the homegrowns. That's neither here nor there. But I'm just going to say, FTR, y'all been screwed out of a greater legacy than you already had. That's just me, Track.
Well, all right. So here's the thing. I understand because you're a big FTR fan, but here's my thing. You got to remember, man. These dudes had 3 of the greatest matches of the year.
Okay,
you know, and that right there, we'll get into that. We'll get into that a bit later. But I think I understand where you're coming from with the payoff against the Bucks and All Out, and then winning the tag team titles and whatnot. But my thing is, would you really have wanted the Acclaim to take the titles of FTR versus taking the titles? That was my whole thing. I'd rather the Acclaim that take the titles off of the Young Bucks than have them take the titles off of FTR. And I'd rather FTR later on go back to taking the titles off of the Acclaim. Because to me, the next tag team champions have to be FTR. They have to. Whether or not you give a damn about the PWI top tag teams or whatever, you could say they kind of got played out of that one because listen, as you may think that as good as the Usos are and as good as one may think that they are, you may even think that they're the best. They didn't have better matches than FTR this year. They just didn't. Now, if you want to talk about they held those titles, if you want to use that as your crutch, okay, fine. But FTR still had banger matches. They was walking around with 3 different tag team championships at one point, albeit, from a defunct promotion like ROH, but they still held those titles and they still had banger ass fucking matches. So I can understand how there's some wrestling fans who are upset at the whole, PWI tag team of the year. I get it. Top tag teams or whatever. So
I can give Usos the pass because of what you said. There's a reason. FTR, like you said, had the match quality. Usos had the storyline. You can't go, you have the tag,
exactly.
You have the tag titles and the bloodline. So it goes either or. So I can't be mad at PWI. It is subjective, and sometimes people say that PWI leans towards WWE. Whatever it is the case, but if FTR being number 2 doesn't bother me too, as long as they didn't go down lower, that'd be as long as they're not lower than the Young Bucks, I'm cool with that. FTR and the Usos for this year, I'm cool with that.
And of course, your big story, another big story of the year we will talk about, which is the whole Vince McMahon debacle, the NDAs and whatnot, and the accusations had forced the old man out of the company, and a lot of wrestling fans were fucking rejoicing, man. It was like I thought I saw people in the streets like we had caught Bin Laden again. That's what it felt like. I was walking through Times Square, people were celebrating, ticker tape parades were going down, strangers were kissing each other, men were kissing men, women were kissing women, homeless people were kissing fabulous debutantes and housewives. It was just madness. The Garden, everybody was going insane. It was like ding dong, Vince is gone, Vince is gone, Vince is gone. It breathed this life of fresh air into wrestling fans everywhere, especially if you were a WWE fan. Some WWE fans were crushed. They were crushed because, going into this fall season, of wrestling and not having Vince McMahon, they felt crushed. Some wrestling fans made community posts. Some wrestling fans made fucking videos. And by some wrestling fans, of course, I'm talking about that stupid dipshit Walt Clyde, who actually made a whole ass video talking about, oh, I'm not going to disrespect Vince McMahon because he made me like wrestling. This, then the third. I don't know what's going on. And, that was also a good feud of the year, too, if you wanted to throw that into your feuds of the year and whatever, because, me and Walt Clyde went back and forth, and of course, y'all knew the outcome on that shit. He cried like a little bitch, and A-Track, couldn't be beating these mean streets yet again. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the old man being forced out. So the old man was a dirty old man. I mean, Vince McMahon was the dirty old bastard for real. And the fact that it took shit like that for him to go is crazy, because if those NDAs weren't around, we'd still be dealing with a lot of frustrations and shit, 24/7 titles, long drawn out ass promos. And these are the things that once Triple H took over, he got rid of. And I would have to say thank you to Triple H for that. No more 24/7 title. No, well, the promos are still there, but the pointless ones are no longer there. No more stupid backstage comedic segments. You could hear the what is it?
There's a balance now.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in terms of commentary. You can hear the rejuvenation in a guy like Michael Cole, as far as what he's mentioning wrestlers that aren't in WWE. He's mentioning other promotions and whatnot. Triple H went the Tony Khan route, if you want to say. He gave us longer matches. He gave us pay-per-view-esque matches for free that a lot of you were criticizing Tony Khan on. Triple H did the same thing, and you gave him the praise. But we're not going to go there on the people who are being hypocritical. I'm just saying. But anyway, Triple H did a lot of cool things, and it seemed like in a matter of time where people were like, okay, and the complete, like the existence, not the existence, the exit of Vince McMahon made the viewership do a complete turnaround. The viewers was up, the night he was gone, the first night of him being gone for SmackDown.
And after Monday Night Football, ends its season, it'll go back up, and then you'll see
we'll see
that's the true standard of the ratings.
As we talked about before, as I mentioned about the good things that Triple H has done, that was the spark when he started. But now where we stand, he's just garbage, because I have no idea what the fuck I've been watching. Now, people say SmackDown is a hell of a lot better. But again, to me right now, SmackDown is just by default better than Raw. It's not something that's really amazing to me. But outside of the matches that they had, and I tell you who's been a real fucking shine on SmackDown since the Triple H era has started. He's not being booked to win titles or nothing, but his matches have been off the hook, and that's Ricochet. I will say that Ricochet...
Oh, you went that route. I thought you were going to say the best booked wrestler on SmackDown is Gunther.
No, I'm not saying Ricochet is the best book. The best book wrestler on SmackDown is Roman Reigns. You could put Gunther second, but I'm saying in terms of match quality, they give us Ricochet. Ricochet fucking delivered. So be it wins or losses, I thought Ricochet, because I was saying, I thought Ricochet would be pushed differently once Triple H took over, because this was a Triple H guy. Doubt it. I mean, granted, he hasn't been winning any titles, but he has been pushed differently as far as he's been on TV a lot more, and he's been giving us opportunities to see what he can do and make us say, "Holy shit, this match was awesome!" His run with the tournament, and that was by the grace of God because of fucking Braun Strowman's foolishness and tweeting his bullshit. Because I'm pretty sure Braun Strowman would have won this tournament, but Ricochet won. And he gave us him and Gunther in that angle for the IC title with the World Cup tournament, because they had to do that to appease Fox, and they did a good job. They did a very good job. So props to Triple H for that. So seeing what he did with Ricochet, I'll come back a bit and say his booking for Ricochet has been pretty cool. Just he's not winning any titles, but you can't really judge that. Now the negatives that I'm about to give Triple H are this.
Shit, bro.
I want to start with that, but since you did, yo, what the fuck? I don't know what you see. This And maybe some wrestling fans may understand. Maybe some black wrestling fans may understand where I'm coming from here. This was Triple H's attempt at trying to get black viewers, because Triple H has no fucking clue when it comes to how to engage black people. Now, I don't want to sit here and say that Vince McMahon knew either, but doesn't it seem like Vince did a better job at engaging black people? Not really, because you can look at it and say Vince did a lot of offensive shit. But when you look at the offensive shit, it's the shit we liked.
It was entertaining, yes.
It was entertaining. This shit is not entertaining. You remember when Shawn Michaels and Triple H, when they reformed DX, they were trying to buy tickets to go inside of Raw, and they ran up to Crime Time, rest in peace, Shad Gaspard. Remember when Triple H didn't know shit, but Shawn Michaels was like, I speak jive. That's what's going on right now. Triple H he does not know how to relate to black wrestling fans. And you can sit there and say what you want about Tony Khan because of his booking of black talent. Look at black talent in AEW right now versus black talent in WWE right now. And you tell me which one you're more satisfied with as of right now. As of right now, between the Ricky Starks, between the Acclaim, between Jade Cargill, who's still somewhat green, but she's got
it's a push track. I mean, the Street Profits is good. Bianca Belair.
You have the only thing you have right now going for black talent in WWE, other than the Ricochet thing that I'm talking about being a little bit pushed before his performance, is Bianca. That's it. Street Profits ain't doing shit. They're not doing shit with the Street Profits right now.
Well, Montez was hurt, but you got to be fair. To be fair, Montez was hurt, so they were in the cusp of that.
Listen,
and of course you can't deny the New Day.
I'm going to get these niggas went back down to fucking get developmental titles, and that's going into what I'm about to say. No tag team is doing shit as long as you have the Usos. No one's beating them. Pretty much. It's all about, until I guess Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who's gonna lose to the Usos next. It's all about unless it's The Rock or Cody, who's going to lose to Roman Reigns next. I do not need to see another Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens match. I already know the outcome. See, with at least between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, you really don't know who's going to win. If they do that match again, you really don't know who's going to win. You can say it's Bobby Lashley because it's the rubber match. But then again, you really don't know. But back to the fact of the matter, which is Triple H cannot relate to black WWE fans like that. He doesn't know how. He needs help. And I don't know who's in his ear, but he ain't doing it. And I'm sorry, Carmelo Hayes ain't the savior of black talent in the WWE. He's just not. He's just not. Now,
I'll defer to you in the black delegation track. So that I'm not going to retort back on that one. That's the black delegation. I'll just say this. What about our Puerto Ricans, man? Puerto Ricans are not being booked right on either side.
You just gonna have to Latinos, bro. You just gonna have to.
I gotta use Latinos. At least that's on the WWE side.
And you gotta go with El Del Fantasma. That's just saving grace right now. And I've been telling people this for the longest. El Del Fantasma, his whole faction was the bloodline of the bloodline. Roman Reigns, in my opinion, his whole new persona that we had. That shit was fed off a Phantasma, in my opinion. That's what that. Just go back and look. If you think I'm bugging out, if you think I'm being hyperbolic, just go back and look. All right. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to that certain aspect, Triple H has to do something. Another negative, he's got this Bray Wyatt character. I don't give a fuck about him, but I get it. The negative is not bringing Bray Wyatt back. The negative is having Bray Wyatt right now in a feud with LA Knight. That shit just does not mesh. It doesn't go well. It's not going well with me. And I do not want to see a return of Rosemary Ripoff and Alexa Bliss. We don't need that shit. Some things get fucked up to the point where you cannot try to fix them again. You should not be trying to do that. No, not at all. Another L with this thing.
Lily was a hot merch, man. I'm just, whatever.
You can still listen. They still have it coming out with Lily. You still could have did that. You could transfer that shit with leaving out this Bray shit, which is not that entertaining to me in the first place. But that's just me. But you can definitely hear him getting less and less pops His pops being less and less loud and meaningful and emotional every week. We had the introduction of Uncle Howie. And I personally was like, am I watching fucking Wednesday? Am I watching fucking Leprechaun? What the fuck is this shit? Like I'm not.
But I'll say this. He can't complain now. This is his shit. This is his story. This is his vision.
Exactly.
So whether he flies or falls straight on his ass, it's on him. It's not on Triple H.
The Vince leeches are still there. So if this fails, they're gonna be like, yo, see, Vince knew what he was doing when he got rid of this motherfucker. But yes, the biggest L is Hit Row. Shit Row. All right, Shock Dollar. These motherfuckers got to fucking go. It is an embarrassment. It is fucking. I don't. Yo, that botch said it all to me, and y'all all can go back to see it because I'm not gonna repeat it. Y'all already know what I said, and that shit is.
You rewinded 4 times, so you don't need to rewind it a 5th time.
This nigga was like.
That's another 2022 year high. That's a 2020 dudes highlight right now. Reflection Nights.
Yo, that was botch of the year, bro. I never thought we'd have anything that would be comparable to the fucking Shockmaster, but that's what it was. And I'm sorry, AEW ain't got nothing to do with this. To some of y'all in that comment section, all right? This is all WWE. This is all Shit Row. This is all Triple L. Okay, he takes the biggest L for bringing these niggas back and doing that shit. You know something? Q?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
This should completely take away anything you have to say about Davey Richards ever again.
No.
Let me tell you something. That botch that he made at Ring of Honor Final Battle,
still to this day.
How is it worse than this shit? Well, you can say it's kind of worse because it was a dangerous move.
You know why it was worse? No.
Jump.
You know why it was worse? And for the Hustleites, this is an inside joke. No. You cannot give Davey Richards a pass. Hustleites, whether you know it or not, Davey Richards is still a bigger botch than Shot Dollar or Shit Dollar, whatever you want to call him, because Track and Billy Ray Valentine was imploring the professor, yo man, watch this dude, Davey Richards. Watch this dude. Oh yeah.
It was the masked man. It was Billy Ray Valentine. I believe it was Billy Ray Valentine. Wasn't me. Had nothing to do with me. I was just along for the ride. At that time, I was already 3 Davey Richards matches in, but I wasn't saying shit like that.
I never saw him.
And I still listen. I keep telling you and BRV that botch wasn't a botch. That she did that on purpose. I watched the match before. He did the same exact shit because the way that match ended after that, I was like, oh, that's how Eddie Edwards won. I'm sticking to that, and I'm not backing off.
Hey, just like Top Dollar tried to defend himself on Twitter, saying, "I've done this move 100 times." Even before that botch. When you botch, you botch. So I just gotta call it out. All I know is once that botch hit, what did the professor do? I looked to my left, Billy Ray. This is your man. This is your man, right? But this is your man. You want me to do? Look after.
You know what made that his response worse is when he showed what he did. I was like, nigga, you fucked this up too. Like you didn't completely botch it, but this was a sloppy ass dive. You hit the fucking rope with your stomach, you fat fuck. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And he lost weight. He said he lost weight. He lost like 50 pounds.
He did lose weight, but he didn't completely clear the shit in the first place. So I was just like, that only made your fucking shit look worse, and it made him look bad. He shouldn't have said shit. He just be like, oh yeah, I fucked that up. That's it. Just hold the L. Sometimes you gotta hold the L. When you try to do anything more than that, it just gets even worse. And so,
one more thing, Track, and let's try to condense this, but we still have to say, Tony Khan not took an L, but he has to in 2023. You and I both agree that Tony Khan has got to tighten the reins of his leadership because of the CM Punk all-out scrum, because of the Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara having backstage issues, Andrade having backstage issues, like we said, Miro having backstage issues. Tony Khan has got to at least tighten the reins of him being the leader, all that stuff. He wants to be the matchmaker, the match booker, whatever the case may be. But you know what? You can't play total favors to people that you can't party with Swerve. You can't party with Keith Lee. You can't party with the Elite. Yes, you can't party with Sammy.
Vince McMahon has done the same shit. Vince McMahon's backstage and wrestling this generation.
This generation of wrestlers, you know how salty they get and how hurt in their feelings they get because you know why I'm not going to get booked right? You know why Tony Khan's not booking me right? You hear Lana saying, well, my man Miro is going to be back in WWE someday. It's going to be Rusev Day in 2023, whatever the case may be. But again, if you're not partying with Tony Khan, this is today's generation wrestlers. I get what you're saying, Track, and I agree with you. Vince McMahon party with Hogan. Vince McMahon party with, all his steroid people back in the 80s.
Not that it made it right.
No, it didn't make it right, but it's just a different generation where you can just call him out on it. So I just say he's got to tighten his reins and just keep it business.
And I think, when you look at the back, all right, 3-year company.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had a collection of 3 different backstage fights? Sammy, and All Out.
Sammy and All Out.
Sammy seems to be a problem. And this is where people... I can't even say you're wrong when you talk about your criticism of him being close with certain wrestlers because this man got into 2 different altercations because running his mouth. And yeah, in this business, running your mouth is just as bad as putting your hands on somebody. And he got rewarded with a win. And it was like, dude, are you fucking serious with this shit? And everybody knows I don't give Tony Khan really a pass on a lot of shit. I think that nigga's a fucking geek. I've gone on record with saying personally, I really don't like this dude. Business wise, he's kind of doing this thing. I don't shit on him for that. But otherwise, with the tweets and this, that, responding to tweets is just so fucking stupid. It's so fucking childish. It shows who you are at the end of the fucking day. I still think this guy has some type of autism or Asperger's Asperger's or whatever the hell it's called. I think this is something, not all bad with Tony I'm not trying to be offensive. I just think that he suffers from some type of social anxiety or some shit like that. But in 2023, seeing what's going on backstage, seeing him bring in guys like Jeff Jarrett and this guy who recently was supposed to get a job in the WWE over Kevin Dunn. I forgot his name, but he brought him in. He's put people in positions to be these backstage leaders and these backstage authority figures. So a lot of this shit doesn't go down. You see that if you're paying attention, and if you're somebody like JoJo Smith, who and shout outs to JoJo, who always, lays down everything that's going on with AEW. So you read certain things that's going on. You read that they're revamping. You see the new ads and stuff like that. And a lot of people are very positive that in 2023
his name is Michael Mansouri.
Michael Mansouri, there you go. So you have people who are very positive that AEW will thrive and get a new TV deal. And because, you hear a lot of the shit about TNT, Time Warner Discovery being very happy with AEW. And I like to say that it's a positive as well. Now, what a lot of y'all may not know of, some of you may know, some of you may not. But if you don't, you're going to know right now. Me and Q are 80s, 90s, and even Q's respects, 70s pop culture connoisseurs. Okay? And this is going into the whole Time Warner is very happy with Time Warner Discovery, or Warner Brothers Discovery is very happy with AEW. You remember the episode of Married with Children? Kelly Goes to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the John Lovitz character?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when John Lovitz was telling Kelly she's going to be on for a long time? Remember that scene where the guy from whatever show he was doing came and said, I just bought a house. You think I should do that? You think it's okay? And John Lovitz goes, hey, we love what you're doing. We love what you're doing. We're absolutely happy. Don't change a damn thing. Buy that house. Buy that car. You got a future here, kid. Turns to Kelly and says, I fired him this morning. I canceled the show this morning. That's Time Warner Discovery. Y'all better, that's Warner Brothers Discovery. Y'all better understand, networks will always tell you they're very happy right before they cut your ass off. Mm-hmm. So
But that's what we've been trying to say. It could play both ways. You'll say the right things on the trades, but then we know certain things that have happened behind the scenes.
And speaking of this crazy year, a lot of the benefactors and champions for AEW are gone. Be they quit, be they released, be they fired, they're gone. Now, if you have these people who are pushing this product that are now gone, it only takes one doubter in that executive boardroom to have everybody fucking change their mind. It's like the mafia. All the bosses are, Paulie, you're in agreement? Vinny, you're in agreement? Tony, you're in agreement? Yeah, we're all in agreement. Hey, Sal, what about you? Well, I think a chance. That's what I say. At least that's what I think. And for some reason, all the bosses changed their mind because Sal wasn't happy with it. I'm kind of paraphrasing a scene in Casino. When all the bosses was like, hey, Stone's a good kid. He stand up just like his old man. But the boss was like, why take a chance? Yeah. And Stoney had to go. It didn't matter if he would stand up like his old man. It didn't matter if his name was Stone and he stood by that name because he wouldn't say shit. It only took one boss to say, nah, nigga. And that's all it takes. I'm not trying to, kill anybody's buzz or kill anybody's hopes and dreams and trying to turn their positives into negatives. I'm just trying to get y'all see the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is grand opening, grand closing. Here today, gone today. So just don't get all hyped thinking the TV deal is going to be. I actually think they might get less, and he's going to say, fuck it, I accept. That's what I think. And I think the AEW fans are going to still take that as a win, which you can. But I think the TV deal, when is the TV deal? The 24th?
2024, they should be getting a new deal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's when the and do you think that they'll have other networks trying to scrambling to get to them? Who knows? Right now, I don't hear anything. I don't hear nothing from
again.
CBS.
We had that show, and I told people, and I've had people, spar with the professor, and I kept telling them, all AEW has to do is fix the infrastructure, create the super app that they have. They have 3 years and plus of content with AEW, plus you got 20 plus years of ROH history. You make the super app, you license it, you make a whole streaming app. Again, you could take percentages with Being the Elite and Sammy's vlogs and stuff like that. You condense your pay-per-views. You got 4 pay-per-views of AEW plus 4 pay-per-views of ROH. You do $10 to $15 a month for subscribers fees. You lose money in the first 2 years, but again, you grow that network. You grow. You have the WWE network kind of blueprint, and then you license that off to Apple TV. You license it off to Amazon Prime. You license it off to HBO Max. Do like what WWE Network has been doing. They've given you the groundwork track. They're giving you the blueprint. You can do it. That's all I'm saying. So you can protect yourself. Now, again, I'm not saying that TV deals, are dinosaurs now. You still need a TV deal. We're not at that age yet where it has to go all streaming. It's not there yet. We know this. You still need that TV deal to, keep that base financial portfolio. That's what I'm trying to say, Hustleites. But still, you need a backup plan too. WWE has a backup plan, whether you agree with it or not. But I'm not saying they don't need TV, but they have the network where people will pay and be part of the Peacock, whatever.
They give people incentives for their network, which is hence ROH. You're not giving me too many incentives right now. Yeah. Hardcore fans. Well, yeah, all right. You got Noah promotions on there. You got a weekly. I mean, it's only $10 a month, and it comes down to, and I'm talking about ROH right now. Do you want to pay $10 a month to see ROH weekly television versus just watching it on some, Watch Wrestling IE site or AE site, wrestling, Watch Wrestling LOL.
Those are not legal, but that's neither here nor there.
They're not, but nigga, let me tell you something. I'm trans well-being. I'm keeping it that way. All right, I don't pay for a fucking pay. Listen, I supported AEW with a few shows, and I did my best right there. I said, okay, that's it. Now I'm back to just watching shit for free, unless it's like the Royal Rumble where I don't want to deal with that headache, or some major event like Wrestle Kingdom. That's why I pay for shit, because I don't want to deal with cutting this off and going back and refreshing and shit like that. So certain shows I'll say fuck it, let me just pay for this. But the rest of the shows I ain't doing that.